I'm Gary Potter. For this lesson, let me show you how to practice some funk-style 16th note rhythms. After you're finished watching this lesson, you should click on the link below the video and head over to PracticeTheGuitar.com. You'll find this exact exercise with backing tracks at 13 different tempos, so you should definitely check that out. Here is this 4-measure pattern. It's all based around an E9 chord, which is your second finger on the 7th fret of the 5th string, and then your first finger on the 6th fret of the 4th string, and then your third finger barred on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd strings. There's your basic E9 chord. And this is a 4-measure sequence. It's all 16th notes, and what's going to happen is with your picking hand, you're going to strum down up with just dead strings. And then when you want the chord to ring, you're simply just going to press down or fret the chord. And in between, you're going to lift off to get the strings to not ring. So here's the very first measure. And I'm counting that as 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and here's a little slower. 1 E and 2 E and you can see if I turn the guitar over here. So you see when I get the chord, I'm pressing down, and when I want dead notes, I'm still holding the shape but just not pressing the strings down. That's how you're getting those two sounds. On to the next measure. The chord is displaced by 1/16th note over, so instead of it being right on the downbeat, it's on the first offbeat. So it's 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and then for the third measure, the chord gets displaced again to the next downbeat, which is 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and then for the last measure, the 16th note gets displaced again to the very last offbeat. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and So let me do the whole 4-measure sequence really slow. 1 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and measure sequence pretty slow. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Here it is a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so the tricky part of this is when you loop these 4 measures around. When you get to the last measure and you go back to the first one, you're going to end up with 2 16th note chords right next to each other. So that very last measure again is 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1, and that would go right into the first measure. So that's definitely a tricky little section to this exercise. Let's listen to this with the backing track. So just a couple of key things here with the picking hand that I want you to notice, which is, number one, I'm not picking very hard. If you do all, it's not going to sound too good. But if you lighten up a little bit and you get a little, it's going to sound a lot better. And you'll notice there that I'm using a lot of wrist, not all arm. But if you do sort of a mix of the two, you get a nice loose feel. And like I was saying before, with the fretting hand, you want to make sure that you're keeping the notes really short and you're cutting the notes off with the fretting hand. So then when you get you don't get notes that ring together that you don't want to. For example, if you had a 1/16th note that was fretted and then 1/16th note that was dead right after it, you want to make sure that you get right off of it in time so the two don't ring. So you don't want, but later on you'll run into rhythms where you might want that. But you want the control where you can mix the two. I really hope you enjoyed this lesson. Click on the link that's right below the video, and that will take you over to PracticeTheGuitar.com. 100 beats per minute is free. Check it out. See you next time.